It's 5 p.m. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. So, idea is to always start on time, finish on time. Welcome to one more interesting ECHA session. And now we have started hosting those sessions on Leher app, and which is a wonderful experience. So, theme for today's session is learnings from failure, startup stories. So, we have Shruti and Yash. They are joining and sharing their. They will be sharing their experiences. But a lot of you would also have your interesting experience to share. So if you can then mention in the chat, if you can briefly introduce and what you would like to talk about your learnings from failure. So we'll probably add you as a speaker and you can also speak up. We'll take that up midway in the session. So it's 5 p.m. We will finish around 5:30, 5:40. So those of you who are watching, you can use some emojis so that we know that you're responding to our discussion. Also, you can mention in the chat about any of your experiences. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm Jatin. I'm the co-founder of ECHI Network. We host engaging startup networking meetups in 25 global cities in 15 countries. Everything has moved online now, but hopefully after 6 months, we'll be able to restart our physical meetups everywhere. And now with online, we are able to do a lot of interesting meetups. So this is one more example about that. Again, theme for today's session is learnings from failures. So Yash and Shruti, thank you so much for accepting the invite and joining for this discussion. Yes, if you can briefly introduce about you, about your company, and then we'll get started with our discussion. Yes, yes.
Sure. So thanks, firstly, Jatin, for organizing this. This is my first Leher, if I can call it that. My name is Yash. I'm co-founder and chief executive at ClientJoy. ClientJoy, we help agencies and freelancers manage their complete client lifecycle, starting from leads, proposals, projects, tickets, contracts, invoicing, and revenue realization. We currently serve more than 1,900 agencies in 30 plus countries. We are a team of building this low ticket vertical SaaS based out of Ahmedabad.
Awesome. Shruti, if you can briefly introduce about you.
Hi, I'm Shruti Kushwa. I have a product development and engineering company, Crealoons Innovation. We help companies build innovations in hardware through engineering, industrial design, electronics, and stuff like that. So we basically are the hardware guys, building hardware for everyone who wants to be in the smart area. So that's the main introduction.
And you are also based in Ahmedabad?
Yes, I am also based in Ahmedabad.
I am also based in Ahmedabad. So today we have a very Ahmedabad heavy panel.
And this is my first Leher app discussion also, just Yash.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. So yes, if you can tell us a little more, if you can share some interesting numbers about your business. So people who are watching this conversation, they get more context about what you are doing. Yeah.
Sure. Apart from the number of customers that we have and the amount of team members, a couple of interesting things to know would be we've not spent anything in any form of inorganic marketing. Everyone that we've acquired has come in through organic ways. More than when a person signs up, more than 80% of them end up inviting 2 or more people to come and use the product. We've got amazing reviews as well. And another thing would be that we raised 3 rounds of equity financing thus far. Our first round came in from CII, which is an incubation center at IIM Ahmedabad. Our second round came in from a group of angel investors, and our third round came in from a VC. And yeah, I think these are some other interesting numbers.
Awesome. Shruti, if you can tell or share interesting numbers about your business, some of the interesting things that people would be interested in knowing. Yes, Shruti.
Yeah, we're self-funded, leading strategy business because the clients are heavily ticket size. So we have clients in US. We do heavily offshoring. We started just Yash with organic growth. Word of marketing was the main thing. We started having clients, and this is the year. I think we started in 2020 doing PPC campaigns and SEO and website and all of that. So now we are doing all of that. But our major customer segments are in US, in healthcare and consumer electronics.
Awesome. So friends, we do a lot of events and we have a lot of amazing speakers who join for ECHI programs, but organizing these learnings from failures is the most difficult one. Because for other events, and I just reach out to them, okay, why don't you come and share your experiencing about your scaling up your business? So this is something that everyone would want to share about it. But then it becomes tricky for me as an organizer to ask people to come out and come and talk about their failures. So those of you who are watching, if you are interested in speaking about your learnings from failures, do let me know. We would love to have you speak up at these forums. So this is a topic where everybody wants to consume, but there are very few people who would want to share. So if you are the one, then do let me know. And thank you so much, Yash and Shruti, for taking this up. So yes, we'll just get started with our core theme of today's discussion. If you can share about any 2-3 major failures or mistakes, and what did you learn from that, and we'll go much deeper in those things. But any 2-3 specific scenarios or specific moment in time, if you can share. Yes.
Sure. I mean, the first one, and so our failure was let me talk a little bit about what essentially failed before we started Griddle, and which has now been rebranded to ClientJoy. So the three of us, me, Abhishek, and Anupama, we started a blogging platform called BlogTart, which was like an internal social network for a company. Right? It was not like WordPress where you blog for the world, but it was kind of what Workplace by Facebook is. It's obviously a lot more complicated and a lot more well thought through, but it was a similar concept where we were approaching larger organizations and have an internal community or internal blog of sorts for their employees and their team members to be able to share with each other as to what their interests are, what activities they are doing, and stuff like that. So that was what we were trying to build, and that was the one that failed. Now, the first learning that we came across when we started trying to sell the concept or idea, when we started meeting with companies, was that businesses and business leaders typically care about two things, right? Which is if you're pitching to them, if you're into B2B, then you have to either save their time or save their money. These are the primarily two categories of things that they would care about. If you're doing anything else, then the probability of you getting the foot in the door is going to be very, very difficult. And then ultimately, a purchase happening is going to be even more difficult. So that was the first learning, that if you're in B2B, save your customers either time or money. The second thing that we learned was that we started building the product and the platform after some amount of research, but before having sales. And then being first time entrepreneurs, we were a lot more inclined towards building products because all three of us are engineers. And so we know how to build things. However, and we were fairly obsessed with the product in terms of how it should look and how it should work and what kind of user flows and user journeys should it have. And while all of those things are really, really important, what's more important is distribution, right? So if you have distribution, you will be able to build a product later on. But if you have a product, then it's not necessarily true that you'll be able to build distribution. So not prioritizing distribution over product was our second mistake. The third mistake would be that we started looking at when we started to fail, we started to look at things that would help us save costs rather than things that would help us get more customers. So at the time when we were able to see that this initiative is not working out, our instinct did not go towards let's improve our top line. Our instinct went towards let's improve our bottom line. And while it is still debatable, and we don't know that for a fact, but I feel that was another mistake that we did. So these three things, right? If you're selling to business, save their time or save their money. If you see that something is not working out, try to work on top line rather than bottom line or cost savings. And the third would be always prioritize distribution over product development.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes. Friends, in case if you want to speak up and share your experiences, you can mention in the chat. I'll just enable you to speak up. Meanwhile, we'll continue with our discussion. Shruti, any top 2-3 key failures and key learnings for you? Yes, Shruti.
Well, I had a lot of failures. So I come from a medical background. It is oxymoronic for people to see that I come from a medical background and I now run an engineering and hardware solutions company. But I just started accidentally that I just want to have my own company and always had a service-based idea. So we started with a multidisciplinary design firm, which you have been witnessed it so far. So we started doing all sorts of design and product development and all of that. And over the years, I gauged experience in engineering. I gauged online what people want and what sort of customers are coming. I had zero idea about business, like zero when I started. I had zero idea about how to even make a proposal, how to even send an invoice. So I learned that over the years. I think my best learning was keep doing. The one thing which I've learned is no matter what idea comes to your mind, whether it is any product or any service or any platform, you just have to keep doing it, and if in the process of doing it, you'll find your own ways. Starting from a multidisciplinary design firm, now we are only focusing on hardware design and stuff and mechanical engineering, and hardcore technical development is very, very haywire journey, is a journey of lot of failures. I wasted a lot of capital also. Didn't knew where to put what kind of resources. Yeah, that was my first thing that you have to keep doing. Second was you have to find the right resources, and to find the right resources to build a service based company, it gets some kind of confidence for the clients. So let's say you have an aim to have a client which is, let's say, a larger ticket size. Now, if you are a small team and if you aim to get that larger client, you need to have the backup of those resources who are competitive. No matter they could be small in size, but the experience and the confidence of the delivery of that product has to be very high, even if you're pitching to a high-end company. That was the second thing which we learned. And the third thing now which we are trying to learn is having the right set of people and right partnerships and alliances in a service model like us really makes a lot of difference. Like, we are a hardware company. Now we are starting to have alliances and partnerships with SAP companies and SaaS-based companies, so that we actually come to know the problems associated in Industry 4.0, in industrial automation. All of that you learn through a journey of actually moving on forward. So that these three are the major learnings. Like, you have to keep doing, you have to keep finding the right resources, you have to keep having a vision that, okay, this is what we want to learn. And yeah, it just works well at the end of the day.
Awesome. Now I'm going to do the riskier things. Sagar, I've enabled you to speak up, and those of you who would want to speak up, just do let me know. But most importantly, whatever you speak, now I'll be asking a lot of questions. Whatever you speak, try to end it and not just continue with your answer, so that we move on to the next set of discussions.
Sure.
I wanted to ask one more question to Yash and Shruti, and then Sagar, I'll ask you a few questions. So Yash, when you, like, there is a failure, on the hindsight, you would love talking about it, but when you are actually feeling that failure, when do you recognize, okay, things are not working out? And once you recognize things are not working out, how do you go about, what is the support system you had, or what would you recommend someone? Yes.
So I think that's the best part about failing as an entrepreneur, right? When you there's nothing good about it, but the best part about failing as an entrepreneur is that you don't have to realize it yourself. The market tells you. So you'll not find good investors, you'll not find good customers, you'll not find good responses or even yeses or nos or whatever. And then when it kind of keeps on happening to you over and over again, is when you realize that, Acha, this is something that has not worked and a significant change has to be brought. The other thing that I'd also like to kind of add over here, and this is something that I heard in some podcast or some conversation somewhere, is that there's no such thing primarily as failure, right? It's essentially pivoting, right? So you're basically going in with a certain set of assumptions. You go out in the market, you test those assumptions. If that assumption is correct, then you move on to a next set of assumptions or experiments. If that is not correct, then you change a little bit and then you pivot. And that's something that we firmly believe in, right? So we so much believe in that thought process that our company's legal name, while the brand name is ClientJoy, the entity name is Pivoting Softwares Private Limited. We believe that pivoting is a way of life. Even if you check out my Instagram bio, it says in perpetual beta, right? So experiment, you don't look at failure as I tried to do something, I was not able to do. Now there's no way out for me. You look at failure as, okay, these set of assumptions were incorrect. And so now I'll change something in the way that I designed my experiment and then move on.
Okay. And in terms of support system, you had friends who helped you. You get that one great thing that happens when you are down, and then it's a way after that. So what was that for you?
Correct. For me, it was essentially the set of people who had pushed us to go on down this path. So it was just basically having those conversations with Professor Gupta, who's a professor at IIM Ahmedabad, who introduced us to the idea of entrepreneurship and the ecosystem that exists. Having conversations with the investors who said no to us. And so trying to understand from them as to why had they said no. Having even some conversations with even potential customers that we had reached out to. And of course, you always have your family, you always have the co-founders. So one good thing about our co-founders, the rest of my co-founders, and we have that support system for each other. One good thing is that me, Abhishek and Anupama have been great friends. We've been together now for more than 14, 15 years. We've worked on school and college and live projects. And so we essentially have cried together, laughed together, built things together, broken down things together as well. And so and Anupama is now my wife as well. And so that itself is a great support system.
But now you cannot pivot.
In life, yeah. In personal life, I cannot pivot. But in company, it's still possible. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Shruti, a specific instance of failure. What was your support system? How did you make a comeback? Or yes.
Uh, I guess I guess what Yash said, right? That the market tells you what things are working and what things are not working. So the moment at which you create a plan and you see that यार ये तो बिक ही नहीं रहा है तो क्या करेंगे मतलब क्या दुकान खोल के थोड़ा ना बैठे रहेंगे तो that is the point at which you keep moving. I don't remember a very significant failure, but yes, I've always pivoted as Yash said. I've always done those kind of things कि नहीं चल रहा है खत्म करो, नहीं चल रहा है change करो, move on to the next cycle.
But Shruti, in that process, sometimes you get some great external support. Some client gives you a big project, or you
Yes,
get some good deal. So
yeah.
what happened in your case?
There was a point at which we had zero clients. There was a point in, I guess, 2019 where we had zero clients and we had a full-fledged operational expenses to take care of it. And all of a sudden, I am now a power of social media comes here. So all of a sudden, guy is texting me on Facebook and he happens to run one of the largest insulation manufacturing companies. And I happened to pitch him that we run this kind of solutions company, innovations company, and he had no idea about it. But I pushed him that let's just meet for a cup of coffee or let's just meet over your office and all of that. And we had lateral interests also on beyond work and all of that. And then he said, you know what, I do have something to give it up to you guys and we want to launch it in the next 6 months. And I was overjoyed with it because generally in our kind of companies, from lead to client acquisition takes at least 6 months. There is an entire process of sending proposals, sending ideations, and all of that. And that person actually believed in me, and that time I had only 4 people in the company. I honestly told him that I didn't told him that I don't have any projects right now. Of course, that was a gimmick which we play. I told him that we do have the capacity to build this. This seems to be takeable, and this seems that we can solve it, and we got it. And we actually did it for a very low cost, but for that moment it was a very very good turning point for us. And now that client is like we are innovation partner for them, like we develop all kinds of products for that company. So that actually helped us to gain more credibility in the market.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Shruti. Sagar, you have a guest appearance. Make it count. Yes, Sagar. Brief
Yes,
introduction
sure.
about you and what was your key failure and key learning from that. Yes, Sagar.
Hello, how everybody? This is Sagar, founder of iPoster.com. Actually, I have started my journey when I was in college, and at that time I have started a service-based company. But I start my company. बाद में within 5 to 10 days we have started, and जैसे ही स्टार्ट किया बाद में सब लोग ऐसे एंजॉय कर रहे थे प्रोजेक्ट के, क्लाइंट्स कुछ मिल नहीं रहे थे, फिर भी मैंने कुछ ऐसे लिंक्डइन में सर्च करके क्लाइंट्स को कलेक्ट किया. फिर बाद में किसी को इतना नॉलेज था नहीं, मीन्स के हम आईटी बैकग्राउंड से, पर ऐसा कोई वेबसाइट का और इतना कुछ था नहीं. सब लोग मस्ती मार रहे थे, ये चिल मार रहे थे. 1 or 2 पर्सन आर ओनली वर्किंग, मैं और मेरा एक फ्रेंड था. तो ये सब चल रहा था मीन. तो 6 to months 1 year हमने कैसे भी करके 2-3 प्रोजेक्ट में सर्वाइव किया, और वो जो ऑफिस का रेंट और सब कलेक्ट करके बाद में वो कुछ चला नहीं. तो उसके बाद देयर इज वन मेंटोर हु सजेस्ट मी कि फर्स्ट यू वर्क इन एनी आईटी कंपनी, देन यू विल रियलाइज के कैसे ये ऑपरेशन होता है, क्या कुछ नहीं होता, क्या होता है. फिर आई हैव जॉइन वन ऑफ द कंपनी इन अहमदाबाद, and then I realized that service based company is not my type, so I think I should focus on the target based product based company. Then there is my father is doing business in eyewear industry from last 10 to 12 years, so I just think why not I will start a e-commerce company related to eyewear. वैसे भी इंडिया में 1 or 2 कंपनी है, लेंसकार्ट और कूलिंग्स. तो स्टार्टेड.
सागर सॉरी, आपका जर्नी बहुत ऑसम है, लेकिन आप क्लाइमेक्स पे आ जाओगे ना, तो बिकॉज़ वी वांट टू फिनिश दिस डिस्कशन एट 6:35. के व्हाट वाज दैट की स्पेसिफिक इंस्टेंस और व्हाट वाज योर की लर्निंग? यस.
तो वो हमने स्टार्ट किया, पर जैसे ही हमने स्टार्ट किया तो उसमें आई थिंक एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो भी बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक करते हैं वो करते कि सब कुछ स्टार्टिंग में अपने आप करने की कोशिश करते हैं. तो मैंने भी वही मिस्टेक की, अपने आप वेबसाइट डेवलप करना, अपने आप ये कर देना, प्रोडक्ट फोटोग्राफी करने का. तो उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ, 1 or 2 years डिले हो गया जो भी प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च था, और वो फोकस नहीं करते. जैसे ही हम ऐसा सोचते हैं कि वेबसाइट बनाने है यार, ये कुछ करने से पहले अगर मैं सेल्स पे ध्यान देता तो 1 और 2 ईयर में मैं और भी सेल्स एक्वायर कर लेता और न्यू कस्टमर्स एक्वायर कर लेता। तो वो एक की फैक्टर है। और तीसरा फैक्टर है कि हायरिंग राइट पीपल इन योर कंपनी। अगर आप हायरिंग करते वक्त अगर आप कुछ भी ऐसे ही देख लो कि नहीं है अभी कोई नहीं मिल रहा है तो मैं कोई बात नहीं इससे काम चला लूंगा उससे काम चला लूंगा, तो ऐसा नहीं होता। आपको जब भी आपको कन्विंस लगे तभी आपको हायर करना चाहिए। तो ये मेजर 3 मिस्टेक्स थे जो मैंने किया।
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sagar. And person with the initial D, sir, if you can share about your learning, and if you can get to the climax and not what others should do, but what was your experience and what did you learn yourself? Yes.
So I think a very important lesson on a recent venture that I have and a failure is to really not only get the temperature of the market, but also the internal team. So we pivoted our startup several ways in order to address an answer from the market. And all these different pivoting required different type of develop different type of skills and develop different type of approaches. And the biggest lesson that I have is that it's very important to work not only externally with your clients, but also to get your internal developers to be on the same page. Because what happens, and it's something that I'm dealing with right now, is you begin to lose the motivation of the team because of because of the constant pivoting in order to address the market. So the biggest lesson is get your team on board on how you're going to pivot and the type of problems that you want to solve.
Awesome. And what is your company? What does it do?
So we do data analytics and data visualization. We address big data from colleges and universities and develop dashboards and the data analytics around it. And so the pivot product that we're developing is around the financials of that company.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Now I'll have a few more questions for Yash and Shruti. So the very point of this discussion about learnings from failures, you learn from someone's experiences, and hopefully some people will learn from your experiences. So what did you learn from someone else's journey or someone else's failures? Yes. This is getting recorded, so you consider everything and then speak. Yes.
Sure. When we were just starting out in our early days, we were starting Blockdart. So we did not know essentially what we were trying to do, and so there was no question of learning from other people's failures for sure. However, like when we shut down Blockdart and then moved to Griddle, which is now Client, we learned from a lot of entrepreneurs around because one of the things was that we were 11 people, we were 11 companies in that batch of iAccelerator, which is where CII funded us. And 7 of them ended up failing during those 3 months or in the 6 months past that. And all of us were there for to see what worked and what did not work for them. And those reasons varied, and they varied from building something that their market did not want to having a co-founder that was not really having a co-founder that did not know what they thought they already kind of knew or they did not know well enough. So having a co-founder that's not smart enough or quick enough or mature enough, and then that varied to also not being able to build a good product. So there was demand, but the customers were not able to use the product that they had built. And then the last one that we saw was just running out of cash. Essentially building your financial projections on the most optimistic of scenarios is another learning, right? So it's always easy कि Excel sheet में कोई number डालो and then you just stretch it. So that number becomes big enough at the end of 3 years or 5 years. And then you think, okay, hey, so that means that I don't need funds for the next 3 years or whatever the case may be. But then in reality, things don't happen that way. And so running your company in an optimistic way, that is I think the biggest learning actually for us. You've got to be a pessimist and you've got to be afraid and you've got to be paranoid at least in the early stages of your company.
Awesome. Shruti, what did you learn from someone else's journey?
I didn't know what I was building before, but there was a point where I realized that we are building exactly what eInfochips is today. I am giving name on recording, okay? So eInfochips was one of the competitors. We cannot say competitors, but it was inspiration. It was an inspiration for us. So sneakingly, what I did was I went into the system and found one of the finest engineers from their team who wanted to leave Infochips and got them on board. And that's how I said, just bring on those clients who have left Infochips and who no longer want to work with Infochips. And that's how we started building.
So your learning is that they could retain their high performance employee.
Yes, yes.
So
The
that is
learning
all.
was I could retain the high performance employee. They enjoyed working with her with an atmosphere which I had. They actually started being in the process because as Infochips is a large company, you're just there for one single setup of
Okay.
a role. So they started doing everything. So they started enjoying it, and of course they started making money also out of it. So that's how it is.
Awesome. It's 5:27. We'll finish in next 5 minutes.
No problem.
So there are a couple of questions. Yes, there are some questions for you. Marketing guy has asked, I would like to know more about your product. I am into freelancing space. So give
Awesome.
out of topic one line speech
Pitch
about your business.
yourself. Pitch yourself.
No, so I hope just head over to clientjoy.io. The website will explain to you. You've got a 1 minute video where we've got a spokesperson who will do a much better job than I can. And so just check it out. You'll fall in love with the product is what I can say.
Okay, so you are focusing on the inbound. That is nice.
I was just trying to say that you've not built a good enough product if you have to sell. So, yeah.
Okay. Harsh has asked, is it necessary to move to Valley to have those contacts and environment? If not, what's the way to establish great contacts? I'm personally building an online space for unconventional learners and tutors. Who would
Join
want to take this
Echai
up?
for that person. I am saying join Echai. I just
Okay.
recommended to join Echai to somebody yesterday. He was like, I don't know how to make a network here. I was like, join Echai.
Okay, thanks for the support. So by the way, Shruti had hosted Echai's New York events, and we had a lot of participants in our in-person New York meetups. I haven't been to all those amazing places, but we have Echai chapters everywhere. So probably we can discuss outside of this thing that how we did it, and probably we can exchange our learnings with each other. There is one more question. Is there any way we can know the market reports and tools to set up ancillary units? So probably, Shruti, those of you who are right now, the person who has asked this question, you can follow Shruti and ask her this question individually, and we will stick to this topic. So 5:29, in next 3-4 minutes, we will get it. We'll finish this session, and we want to do a rapid fire. Yash, what is the advice you would want to give to your younger self after learning? Now you become expert, but you may end up making more mistakes. So
Yeah.
what is the advice that you would want to give your younger self, the Yash who's just starting up in 2013?
Sure. So very quickly, the first advice will be like know who your exact customer is. So I would not, I like define. So we draw this thing called empathy map canvas and user centered design canvas, and then obviously user persona. But build these three for your own sake to get clarity as to who your customer is. A lot of and don't have 5 different sets of customers. कि हाँ चलो ये भी use कर सकते हैं, ये भी use कर सकते हैं, and then these guys also if it is relevant and so on and so on. You'll never be able to build a distribution channel. So I'd say so the way that we have it defined as an example for ClientJoy as of now is that our product is for agencies and freelancers that are just one sec. Are you guys able to hear me? I think.
Yes, very clearly.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
Okay. So just to give you an example, the way that we've defined that for ClientJoy as of now is that ClientJoy is for agencies and freelancers that are smaller than 20 people that are into digital marketing, IT service, or event management consulting space in developed economies with English as their business language. Now, anything else is a waste of my time. So these are the only, so if there's an agency that I come across that is a 30 people team, I say no, I'll not invest my time into that. If there is an agency from Brazil as an example that does not have English as their language, and because I know for a fact that they're going to ask me to convert that into Spanish, right? So then everything else, I'll move on, and this is a big enough market sector for me, and that's what I'm going after. So having a strong definition, that will be one advice to myself.
Awesome. Shruti, what would be your advice to your younger self?
Just don't be very excited when you start entrepreneurship. Just don't boast around what kind of people you're meeting. Just be very humble, very patient. Know your entire journey, where you're moving, what you're doing. Is what I would say. Since I was conscious enough what I wanted to build, I could pivot it to the right direction. But not necessarily everyone could go to the right direction. So that's all I would say. But going back to your question, that point is also under the consideration. Like we have clients, the definition is only companies who are worth more than 100 crores and 500 crores. And have hardware as the central core of the product. So that's our definition.
Okay. Awesome. 5:32 in 3 minutes we want to finish up, but I want to ask you 3 more questions. So just give a one-word answer and don't defend your answer. Just give your answer. Which is your favorite book or a podcast? Yes.
Joe Rogan Experience as a podcast, and Hard Thing About Hard Things as a book.
Okay. Shruti, your favorite book or a podcast?
My favorite book is Most and More. It's more on the philosophy side, on the life philosophy side. And I listen the podcast on stories. Actually, I don't listen podcast on business much. So I listen Nilesh Mishra's stories. So.
And no need to be defensive about it. That is totally fine.
Yeah.
Yes, if everything happens the way you imagine it would be, what would Client Joy be in that case?
In 3 years, we would be serving 100,000 agencies across the world.
Okay. Shruti, if everything happens the way you imagine it would be, in that case, what would Kriya Loans be?
100 crore valuation by 2025.
Okay, awesome. And this is the last one. There are a lot many questions I want to ask, but I want to finish on time. And Sagar, this time you also answer this question. Even though, of course, I keep on repeating that. And typically, Vanity Fair or New York Times will ask this question: that if you were to describe your entrepreneurial journey in one word, what would that word be? It's a work in progress, so you cannot answer work in progress. But if you were to describe your entrepreneurial journey in 1 or 2 words, what would that word be? Sagar.
It's like a roller coaster ride.
Roller coaster. Okay, so tomorrow we have a series called Startup Roller Coaster. So it's a weekly where we'll have 4 or 5 people talk about their ups and downs. You'll not get a life-changing startup advice. There are a lot many other good sessions happening on Layer App for life-changing startup advice. These are the sessions where people share their personal stories. You can relate to them and get connected with some people. If you were to describe your entrepreneurial journey in one word, what would that word be? Startup Roller Coaster is taken.
Keep doing.
Keep doing. Awesome. Yes.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. You can follow all of us, each other.
Those questions, how do we answer those questions which people have asked?
I asked some question, and one person asked a question. If that person follows you on Leher and asks you a question, you can give answer to it. So let's friends, let's get connected. On Leher, we have also started the Ichai Startup Club, but a lot of programs are happening publicly. But Leher guys are building a new feature where probably all our public programs will be on Ichai Startup Club also. So do join that and let's stay connected. Tomorrow we have a startup roller coaster program where we'll have 3 more awesome founders joining in. Thank you so much, everyone. 5:35, we are closing on time. So thank you so much, everyone, again.
Sure.
Thanks, Shruti. Thanks, Jatin. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.